Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Gonzii and today we are going to be reacting to another casual geographic video, this time called Cassowaries Are Truly the Spawn of Satan. So yeah man, but before we start, I just gotta apologize for yesterday. There was no video man, I just was a mess. I was a mess, I just didn't have the energy, I didn't have the will, I couldn't. And I took the day off to rest. You can see, man, I rested quite well. So yeah, I don't look as bad as I did yesterday. I'm working on a new project right now. It's taking a lot of my time and I just ran to the ground, myself to the ground. So I'm sorry, but back with videos today, and today we got a banger by the bro Casual Geographic. So yeah, man, without further ado.
I don't have an irrational fear of birds like the person I'm passing the phone to.
First of all, I'm not afraid of birds. I'm just aware of them. And even if I was, I'm
Aware
not
of
talking about
bird.
the backyard Tweety wake you up
The
at
bird
5
with the
a.m.
bread on the head.
I'm talking about
Bread
this
bird,
Jurassic
bird
bird
bread.
with feathers.
Yeah, man, Cassowaries are legit dinosaurs,
One
bro.
shot you with one
Like
sword.
modern day
Yes, I said
dinosaurs.
claws.
Look
if
at
you're not
that.
already, here's every reason you
Nah.
should be afraid of them. They can run at 31 miles per hour, meaning they can chase
Damn.
Usain Bolt. They can jump
Bro.
7 feet straight in the air, meaning this bush turkey can clear a
That's
shack.
wild.
And they swim, meaning you couldn't Phelps your way out of this one.
Yep.
Female cassowaries are actually bigger than the males, and the
They're
biggest
really
ones
cool,
are
though.
6.5
They are really
feet tall.
cool.
This guy is 6.5 feet tall. They have the sharpest claws of any rat type, and that second nail is basically a dagger that can disembowel
Damn.
both people and dogs. And by can, I mean they have. They've done it. And the bastards kick. One man was taking pictures of one when the murder turkey proceeded to charge and knock him off a cliff. Cassowaries are naturally shy, and 95% of the time they'd rather run away. It's just that 5% is how someone ends up on CNN. There's 3 types of cassowaries, and I approve of exactly none of them. And on everything, I'd forgive all of that if they didn't sound like this.
Oh yeah. Bro, imagine you're walking down a forest, yeah, at night and you hear that. Nah, piss off, bro.
I don't
That's
even have a fear
wild.
of birds. I just have a fear of getting my throat split open by an overgrown homicidal jungle goose that sounds like a Toyota on life support and indigestion. At the end of the day, when it comes to animals, I only have one rule. If Steve don't with them, what makes you
Hey,
think
that's
I
a good rule to have. Is that a whale shark?
Yeah, that's a basking shark.
A
They're
basking
highly
shark,
dangerous
okay.
menaces to society if you're zooplankton, because that's all they eat. Not only are they harmless to us, a lot of them will curiously approach divers in boats. The only messed up thing is if they don't look like they're in a perpetual state of agony with their mouth, they look almost identical to tiger sharks on steroids.
Yeah.
But unlike tiger sharks, baskies have tiny teeth that never get bigger than half an inch, meaning this almost 30-foot whale guppy is a pacifist.
Nice.
They also might be the ocean's biggest troll. Because when this corpse was found off the coast of New Zealand in 1977, people thought it was either a dead plesiosaur or a sea serpent. An idea that either of those could be in the ocean made people collectively shit enough bricks to build a city. But really, it was just a basking shark that hit its expiration date. The only dangerous thing about them is that they allegedly taste disgusting. Gordon Ramsay vomited after trying fermented basking shark, and Anthony Bourdain called it the worst thing to ever assault his tongue.
Damn.
But the shark never asked to be eaten, so I'm not holding it against them.
That's
Also,
facts.
this is what a baby baskie looks like. Moral of this
Oh,
video,
that's
they're
cute.
perfectly harmless, and we stand shark paw in these parts. You probably already know that Australia lost
Emu,
the war in this bird, but
emus.
here's how this
Yes,
discount Australia was able
bro,
to
they
double
lost
the
the
entire
war, the
Number
emus,
one,
bro.
they're basically bulletproof. Their organs actually make up a small part of their body, which is why this rehab big bird was able to eat bullets like 50. To the point where it took literally 10 rounds just to take out one of these feathery tanks. Number 2, emus are ridiculously, disrespectfully,
They
unnaturally athletic.
Facts.
Not only can this Australian bush turkey sprint at 35 miles per hour, they can
Bush
chase the rest
turkey,
like Messi.
bro.
Mean. They were out here ankle-breaking men on trucks that couldn't keep up. They can jump 7 feet in the air, and for an overgrown sand chicken, they've been known to climb fences. God was 100% laughing at us when he gave emus the green light.
That's
Number
facts.
3, they're way smarter than we thought. These emus had lookout groups, with every flock having a leader that would stand guard and warn the others if they saw soldiers approaching, meaning it was almost impossible to sneak up on them.
Wow.
They would also purposely split up and scatter just to make it more difficult. Eventually, they started to recognize the sound of the trucks that the soldiers were riding and would even dip before they saw them. And number 4, there was just too many of them. Killing all of them would have put the economy in a pack. At one point, there were 986 confirmed emu kills, but it took
Damn.
9,860 rounds to do it.
Whoa.
You can laugh, but we would have lost one on Instagram asking
Yeah,
us
that's
the most
facts.
dangerous animal that people don't talk nearly enough about.
Okay.
And this was the first image that popped in my head.
Oh,
Yeah,
wild boar, bro.
Problem. The biggest
That's
one's
huge.
250 pounds with tusks that
Ugh.
can put you in a newspaper. When they choose death penalty, they'll charge an impale.
Fun fact about boars. Imagine if you have a pig, yeah, a normal pink pig, yeah, on your yard, bro, on your farm. If that pig crosses your fence and goes to the wilderness, it takes like 2 weeks for the tusks to start growing like a boar. His fur will be darker and he turns into a boar. The only difference between a wild boar and a farm pig is a fence, bro. That's the only difference. They are exactly the same. Just adapted to different things.
Moving, they'll rush you again. They'll keep doing this until you're either crippled or a wuss. And they usually aim for the thigh, so if they sever your femoral artery, it's curtains, my guy. Boars are the homicidal tendencies of hippos with the street smarts of raccoons. This steroid porky has learned to stay close to humans because our garbage is free food to them, which is why they'll easily take your soul over half a box of popcorn. And according to cave paintings, they've been on our ass since the Stone Age. But like everything else, this is our fault, because the more we move into their hood, the more they lose their natural fear of humans, and the more obituaries get co-signed by this shuffle demon. And once again, Florida goes to hell and brings the bar with it. They're an invasive species, and there's not 1,000, not 5,000, but 500,000 of these wild pigs in the Sunshine State, to the point where they might start voting in the next election. But don't feel too bad, Texas has about 2 million of them. You can find them in about 30 states. God gave them life, and they make it everyone's problem. Upon a time, the office asked which bear is the best bear, but I noticed they never did the same with cats, so I'm here to tell you. Jaguar is the best cat. You swear their avatar the way they body every element. They can run you down at 45 miles per hour, climb trees,
and swim. Yeah, man.
The bastards can swim, and they're pretty good at it. Some were even caught phelpsing across the Panama Canal, meaning this steroid with whiskers can outrun, outclimb, and outswim you. And if one comes at you, you're 50 shades of... Jaguars are the third most brolic big cats behind lions and tigers. But with a bite force of 1,500 pounds per square inch, they have by far the most disrespectful bite of any cat. Not only that, but jaguars do something no other cat does. That's canceling their victim by going for the head instead of the neck.
Bro, they go straight to brain.
The name Jaguar means he who kills with one leap, which is fair because they do be one-shotting. On top of all that, they have some of the biggest eyes of any predator, meaning not only can they see underwater, God gave them night vision and told the rest of the jungle to deal with it. Jaguars are so metal that ancient Meso warriors used to feed them the hearts of their slaughtered enemies as respect. They can also evict turtles with their teeth. Call for the king of the jungle and the jaguar will pick up the phone. Absolutely right, we talked about the best bear and the best cat, so obviously we gotta talk about the best dog. African wild dogs are a cell block D menace to society. Even though they share a zip code with lions, tigers, and crocodiles, this homicide pup has one of the most disrespectful KD ratios of any.
One of the most haunting videos I've ever seen, bro. With 3 wild dogs, catching an hare, a big rabbit basically, a wild rabbit I should say, and just 3 wild dogs, they all got the rabbit, and they each one pulled a piece and they killed the rabbit like that. Bro, it was wild.
Dogs have a kill percentage of 80%.
Wild
time
stuff.
They go out to hunt, there's an 8 out of 10 chance somebody's life subscription.
I was traumatized as a kid, bro. Like,
pet dog, but there's one terrifying fact about them. They never get tired. The African Cujo can run you down at 37 miles per hour for 3 miles straight. And 20 of them on your ass. Imagine being chased by 20 of someone that has the endurance of a Duracell.
Not
but the real nightmare is actually when they catch you. Unlike lions and leopards that'll put you out of your misery first,
they just start eating, bro.
While you sit there and wait for an Uber to the afterlife. Your entire way of life can come down to a sneeze.
Bears, bro. Bears just put a paw on you and start chewing.
On a wholesome note, they do let the puppies eat exactly their pack structure based on helping out the weakest members instead of letting the strongest ones take their pick, like lions. Because of this, their pack structure is way more efficient and way deadlier than wolves. They're so good at what they do that hyenas will try to steal from them and lions will try to murk them on sight because they see them as such a threat. I don't even blame them, because imagine being chased by something that no matter how hard or long you run, every time you turn back, it's there waiting to run your pockets. Basically the IRS, but with teeth in its
face. Hey, crazy. Hi. You are so happy today. Yes, you are. Oh, you're a good girl.
What's that? Is that a bad joke?
Popcorn's been having fun.
That is a binturong, also known as a bear cat, even though it's not a bear or a cat. It's a viverrid, and the best way to describe them are as musty-smelling cats that aren't really cats. As a viverrid, they're related to civets and gens, which to be fair, you probably never heard of before, but they're also part of the feliform suborder, which also makes them somewhat related to hyenas, fusa, and mongoose-like meerkats, which you definitely
we're related to Timon, bro.
Movie theater, you're probably smelling
bro, you are bro, nah.
Popcorn.
And you smell as well. Hell no.
Hyena female bear cats have a pseudo-penis, and I have no idea why. This rehab raccoon is found all over.
Things I did not need to know.
They spend most of the day hiding and sleeping in trees. They use those long prehensile tails to help climb trees and as mood rings to communicate to others how they feel, and shaking it means they're happy. They also make a lot of random sounds, and they've been known to chuckle as a sign of comfort. Even though they identify as members of the carnivore group, they also eat fruits and figs, and it turns out
figs are great.
Activity really love plantains.
Plantain!
There's no fact here, just a baby binti. Female binties have a superpower, which is they can delay their own pregnancy and give birth whenever they feel like it, thanks to embryonic diapause. You wish that was you, don't you? They're shy, awkward, plantain-loving introverts that spend most of their time eating and sleeping, aka your new spirit animal. I can't speak for all of you, but I stand this alcoholic otter. Thing is, panthers don't actually exist. I mean, not in the way you think they do. Because the word panther doesn't refer to one animal. The word panther actually refers to the Panthera genus, which is made up of lions, tigers, jaguars,
big cat problem. Video on the channel as well.
What about black panthers? Well, that's literally what they are. They're black panthers. We use that to describe a member of the Panthera genus that has a mutation that turns it black, and this mutation happens to jaguars and leopards. But because the gene that causes this mutation is dominant in jaguars and recessive in leopards, most black panthers are actually melanated jaguars. But technically, if a lion or a tiger had
Look
to go
at
to
that, bro. Black lion.
we call them a black
That
panther
looks
too.
sick.
Now I'm probably gonna get a lot of comments that think this guy right here is a panther, but
He
he actually
isn't.
isn't. Mountain lions are actually more related to smaller cats like your
Facts.
pet than they are to lions, tigers, and leopards. And in case somebody brings up the Florida panther, that's really just a cougar that got misnamed. Moral of this video, panthers are like Santa and black men that cheat. They simply do not exist. Here are some things you can do in Australia that you simply can't do
Pikachu.
anywhere else. Number 1, you can
Real
meet
one.
Pikachu.
Yeah?
This is a yellow brush-tailed possum. They're one of the most widespread marsupials in Australia, so widespread that sometimes they break into people's homes. And getting Kool-Aid Man by a living Pokemon is definitely something you need in your life. Number
That's
2,
so
you can watch a
cute.
blue penguin parade.
Yes,
the blue
facts.
penguin is the smallest of its kind, and if you're on Phillip Island at the right time, you can watch hordes of them emerge from the sea and waddle single file like children towards their nesting sites. Like, you can actually sit and watch them waddle past you. And if you can sit here and tell me this doesn't make you smile, either you sold your soul or you just weren't born with one to begin
Yep.
with. Number
So
3, you can
cute.
meet a pattamelon. It's
Pattamelon!
basically the kangaroo's smaller, less
Cute
powdered
as
cousin.
well.
And like roos and wallabies, they get to where they gotta go by hopping. They're just really cute about it. Number 4, you can witness Aurora Australis, aka the Southern Lights.
Oh.
It's the result of a disturbance in the magnetic field caused by
Damn,
someone, which causes
that's
particles
cool.
to release color as they become ionized. In simple terms, it's nature on LSD. And number 5, of course, you can meet the world's happiest animal. Technically found off the coast of Australia on islands like Rottnest, but it still counts. They smile to cool off, and they've lost their fear of humans, which is why this exists. In
So
Quokka, we
cute.
trust. Listen here, I'm about to tell you
Quokka.
5 things you did not know about the octopus. Number 1, you know how the
Good,
man of war is
it's
basically
great.
a jellyfish on juice? That can
Thanks.
have you looking like you got 50 shaded. Well, the octopus will strap up by arming themselves with the tentacles of the man of war and swing them at any predator or
Damn.
ob that tries to press them. Basically using the disembodied venom arms the same way a corner store junkie might use a broken beer bottle as a weapon. Number 2, they have post-nut clarity so bad it literally kills them. After the He-Puss hits for the first time, he pretty much goes into the octopus.
Oh,
version
yeah,
of
true.
dementia. Symptoms include not eating,
I knew that
body
already.
lesions, uncoordinated movements, and the skin around his eyes retracting. This is called senescence, and it means he falls apart from the inside until either a predator puts him out of his misery or he starves to death.
Dang,
Our boy Squidward has 2
that's a
choices.
rough way
He
to
can
go.
either live a virgin or die a man. Number 3, octopus will throw hands at fish right in the dome piece, and with
Dude,
8 arms, there's
bro,
plenty of hands to
throw
go around.
haymakers like
We
it's
used
Mike
to think they
Tyson.
did this as a defensive response, but now it's believed they do it purely out of spite.
Yep.
Number 4, octopus will team up with other fish while hunting, and they often choose groupers as partners. They work together and reap the benefits. Sometimes the octopus will switch
That's
to
just
tight the
smart.
fish right in the head, but now we believe they do it to keep the fish honest. It's not confirmed, but it's believed that they smack around their hunting partners to keep them in line and keep them from cheating them out of food. Who knows, maybe the octopus got screwed over by his last fish friend and works through his trauma by uppercutting his current partner. And number
Thanks.
5, octopus are members of a group called cephalopod, which is also part of a group called gastropods, which includes snails and slugs. Meaning Squidward and Gary are actually related. And yeah, that boy Squidward is actually an octopus. Man's got misspecied by his own moms.
It is.
You hate to see it. In
You
honor of
hate
Pride
to
Month,
see
there are
it.
some animals that are gay as hell, and that's okay. Koalas are walking plush toys and probably have the same IQ as one, which is why they don't understand a
Damn.
lot of things, including consent. Since male koala flirting is violent and aggressive, sometimes the females will reject the males and then hook up with each other in lesbian sessions that can have up to 5 members. According to some studies, for every male-female koala couple, there are 3 lesbian liaisons also happening, and in some zoos, females will only mate with other females immediately after rejecting another male. And
Damn.
honestly, I respect that.
I respect
Some penguins
it.
will form same-sex couples and then adopt a baby to raise as their own. And by adopt, I mean
cute.
they steal an egg from a more traditional penguin pairing.
That's
Because
so
males and females
cute,
are
though.
difficult to tell apart, there's probably way more gay penguin couples in the wild, we just really notice it in captivity. As for the kidnapping, maybe if the adoption process for gay couples wasn't such an unnecessary hassle, then maybe they wouldn't have to choose abduct over
Facts.
adopt. Number 3 are bonobos. Honestly, they're not even gay or straight, they're just whatever they wake up feeling like. Bonobos use handshakes just like us, but instead of hands they use the parts they pee with because that's how they create and reinforce social bonds. Bonobos are cansexual, meaning anything can get it. Doesn't matter what
Dang.
gender because they don't go off boy or girl, they go strictly off vibes. Even more animals
Just
that are gay. And
vibes.
the last one just might surprise you. Male lions will form tight bonds that start with affectionate nuzzling and caressing and escalates all the way to the love child of Lion King and Brokeback Mountain. Zoologists believe 8% of male mountings occur with another male. And apparently
Dang.
the guys treat other guys better because where male and female matings are violent and often end in fights, male lions are more gentle and tender with each other. Now technically, they're not gay, but it sure as hell ain't straight. It's believed that 1 out of every 5 swan couples are gay, and like most swan pairings, they mate for life. Like till death do us part type stuff. Researchers have found that one of the males will mate with a female only to chase her off when she lays an egg just so he and his partner can raise it instead.
Damn.
And they're pretty good at it because gay swan couples are better parents because 80% of same gender pairings will raise young successfully where straight couples are about less than 50. Still don't quit birds, but I know wholesome when I see it. Most
Yeah, that's
male
wholesome.
walruses are bisexual and actually depends on the season. During breeding season, they keep it traditional by pursuing females. Outside of breeding season, walrus life quickly turns into Blubberback Mountain, and I know I made that joke already, but hell if I pass it up. But they don't just hook up, the males will also embrace each other and sleep close together. Fun fact, for a lot of walruses, until they reach maturity, which is basically their version of puberty, every sexual encounter they have is with another male. Meaning a majority of male walrus first times are with another guy walrus. If we're the boys more you know.
For the boys. Well, man, that was another phenomenal video by our homie Casual Geographic, doing the Lord's work, educating you, man, and me about the animal kingdom. Great video once again, man. Guys, once again, sorry for the lack of video yesterday, as this really was a wreck, man. I'm better in terms of sleep, but every other stuff is I'm working on it. I'm trying to get better. But yeah, before you go, don't forget how you end videos on the channel. Keep God first as always. Drink water, go tell somebody who love the man. If you're here, you know what to do, man. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. My name is Gonzii, and see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.